Carnival Cruise Lines has reached an agreement with the government of Jamaica, which will guarantee cruise ship ports in Montego Bay and Ocho Rios at least 1.2 million visitors over 3 years. The effective date of the agreement is March 1st, 2011. Carnival has also agreed that if it fails to deliver the 1.2 million visitors, it will pay the difference between the actual numbers and the guaranteed figure. This was disclosed by Minister of Transport and Works Mike Henry on Tuesday. He commended both Carnival Cruise Line and the Port Authority of Jamaica for their support and said the development means that Ocho Rios and Montego Bay will continue to see the same volume of visitors as before, and it means that everyone can now plan in relation to the arrival of cruise ships from Carnival. He added that the Jamaican government will be revisiting opportunities to expand both ports, and discussions will continue with interested parties on developing the landslide of the ports to increase the attractions for visitors to mingle and participate in the culture and history of Jamaica. Dominican Erwin LaRocque on Monday, August 15th, began his term as the 7th Secretary General of the 15-member Caribbean Community Grouping, aware of the mandate from regional governments that it cannot be business as usual. Speaking at a ceremony at CARICOM headquarters in Guyana, LaRocque said he begins his tenure with no illusions about the task ahead.
The new Secretary General of CARICOM, Erwin LaRocque, officially assumed office today with a clear warning that it was not going to be business as usual for CARICOM. LaRocque, who worked with the Secretariat for a number of years before being appointed as the new Secretary General, said the time is now for the community to become more responsive to the needs of the CARICOM people.
I begin my tenure as Secretary General with no illusions about the journey before me. While I pledge to do my best to justify the trust and belief that the heads of government have placed in me, I acknowledge that I cannot do all that I want to do, indeed all that I must do alone. The entire community must make this journey with me. I cannot make the strides we have to without the total involvement of member states and the people of the region. I wish to salute the staff of the CARICOM Secretariat, who have displayed unwavering commitment to improving our community. I am sure they will agree with me, however, that we must improve our efficiency and effectiveness.
He said there must be more focus on the youths of the region and CARICOM must ensure that. The Secretary General said the Secretariat needs to become more effective with its work, even as it is under review.
I pledge to be accessible and to lend a willing ear to the concerns of my staff, and I expect continued pride and commitment in their performance, and I look forward to their continued support. A critical element in going forward, however, will be a clear understanding that under the current conditions, the Secretariat can no longer be all things to all persons. If we are to be more effective, we must be focused and adequately resourced if we are to play the role envisaged by our heads of government.
This morning's ceremony also saw the current chairman of CARICOM, St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister Denzil Douglas, joining in via teleconference to offer the message from the CARICOM leaders. Prior to joining CARICOM, LaRocque served as permanent secretary in various government ministries in Dominica for more than 14 years, including in the ministries of Trade, Industry, Enterprise Development, Tourism, and Foreign Affairs, where he headed the diplomatic service. He also served as the principal advisor to the government of Dominica on all matters pertaining to the economic integration and regional and international trade. LaRocque was appointed a couple of weeks back.
The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Armajaro Trading Limited signed an agreement for the reintroduction of cocoa growing in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves noted there will be 3 demonstration projects and farmers will be able to get involved in cocoa production as soon as the planting material is available. The Prime Minister noted that the agreement is not a social welfare agreement but a business agreement, and unless everyone can profit from it, it will not survive. The Prime Minister pointed out that Armajaro has been given an undertaking as part of the agreement for the planting material to be made available to farmers. He said the company is also committed to providing credit on a commercial basis to farmers in inputs and fertilizers. Gonsalves said that the Ministry of Agriculture will be involved in the project every step of the way. He, however, stated that the contracts will be between the individual farmers and Armajaro. Cultivation of cocoa in St. Vincent is expected to begin by the next rainy season. In the midst of an effort to sensitize residents about dengue fever, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has contracted the disease, but is said to be doing well and working from home. The Prime Minister became ill as the Ministry of Health begins an education drive to sensitize the population on dengue fever and an aggressive Aedes aegypti mosquito eradication program across Trinidad and Tobago.
The rainy season usually brings with it increased cases of dengue fever, and with the country having recorded hundreds of cases already, Dr. Rai Ragby, the chairman of the Community Improvement Services at the Ministry of Local Government, says it can now be classified as an outbreak.
Absolutely. In more cases, as I said, endemic means that we have it always, and an outbreak by definition means that we have more cases. In this case, yes, if you want to use the terminology outbreak, yes. If it creates an awareness that we need to clean our surroundings, so be it. And it will affect each one of our lives, and especially for our children. So that's what I mean. We have to clean up our environment first.
But he says, however, this country has so far recorded fewer cases than last year.
We have about 1,800 cases till date. Last year, around the same time total, we had about 4,000 cases. So we must be doing something right.
Dr. Ragby, who is also a primary care physician, says eradicating dengue is hard because the mosquito is always with us.
You can never eradicate the mosquito, but the Aedes aegypti mosquito is the most highly domesticated mosquito that we have around, and it loves to live in our homes and houses. And we need to be careful of that and be cognizant of the fact that spraying alone will not be the only answer.
Dr. Ragby is part of a team working with the ministry towards eradicating dengue fever.
As the number of dengue fever cases continues to grow, Bahamas government officials met on Monday with a World Health Organization region consultant on vector-borne disease control, Dr. Christian Fredrickson, who is expected to assist the country with the outbreak. Fredrickson told the Nassau Guardian that he will make full recommendations to the government at the end of his trip. In the meantime, he said the government's response should focus on community involvement and getting the message out about the illness and its spread. With over 1,600 cases of dengue fever having been reported, Fredrickson said every effort should be made to reduce the chances of new cases emerging. The Aedes aegypti mosquito is responsible for the spread of the virus. Fredrickson emphasized that it is important to get everyone involved in efforts to tackle the outbreak and recommended that homeowners spend 10 minutes once a week checking their yards for and eliminating containers with water that could be breeding areas for mosquitoes. Fredrickson noted that a similar dengue fever outbreak is affecting the wider Caribbean region, specifically St. Lucia, Aruba, and Curaçao. This is Walter Barrett for JTV News.